Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Sunstone, and for today's video we are going to be covering the dating mechanics for Coral Island. We're also going to be meeting all of the dateable NPCs. And even though this is a farm sim game, I think there's so many of us that are maybe most excited about the dating options. I mean, if you look at the photos of all the characters, they just have so much personality and so much life behind them. I'm so excited to play this game and meet all the characters and probably have 99 save files just so I can try dating all of them. So when the game's Kickstarter initially launched, there were 16 characters who we could romance. However, for one of the stretch goals, an additional 4 characters were added to the dateable roster. These characters were Millie, Suki, Ben, and Charles. Another stretch goal actually unlocked 4 entirely new characters being added to the game. So far we've seen one of them, we have yet to actually meet them, and the other 3 are completely a mystery. We've seen their silhouettes and that's about it. The team at Stairway Games noted that out of these 4, the number of dateables is to be determined, so we will just have to stay tuned to see what happens. A further stretch goal actually unlocked the ability for us to find love with 2 of the merfolk. I have no idea how that's gonna work, but I'm kind of into it. The 2 romanceable merfolk have yet to actually be confirmed, but so far we've been introduced to Agung and Denali. I looked at the pronunciation, but please forgive me, I am trying my best. The merfolk are so beautiful, so honestly just catch me learning how to breathe underwater in this game. So the romance game mechanic is actually optional in Coral Island. However, I just personally can't imagine not exploring this opportunity. We're able to date, marry, and have children with any one of the 22 eligible NPCs regardless of gender. You can only marry 1 character at a time, and I know people are having difficulties deciding who they're gonna go for first, but remember you can have multiple save files so you can try all the flavors. And you can also have up to 2 children in total who will grow into their teenage years. There's a variety of child designs, personalities, and interests which you can influence as they grow up, or you can allow them to discover on their own. And it's also worth noting that the traits of your children are not exactly tied to your chosen spouse. As you romance characters, you will gain more information about them, but you must first build a friendship with that character. You'll get extra brownie points for giving them gifts, and you will have the ability to unlock various relationship cutscenes. According to the Kickstarter, you're able to rack up relationship points by embarking on elaborate quests and adventures that will give you even further cutscenes and storylines. All of the NPCs in the game have seasonal outfits, so 1 standard outfit per season. However, all of the dateable NPCs also have 1 bathing suit outfit and 1 festival outfit. Developers have commented that they plan to have post-marriage events, different dialogues, dates, and maybe even some small domestic disputes, as they said that some jealousy can be good for the soul. The events will depend on how you treat your significant other, but their goal is to keep the love alive in your relationships after marriage. It is also possible to marry another player in multiplayer mode, and as far as I'm aware and from my understanding, you are able to divorce. So the last thing I'd like to talk about before meeting all of the romanceable characters is this relationship screen. I'm predicting that the orange hearts represent level of friendship, while the pink hearts represent level of love or romance. Now I'm wondering if you have to fill all of the orange hearts before moving on to gaining pink hearts with each character. And I'm also wondering how characters will interact with each other if you are romancing more than 1. Like, I wonder if there'll be dialogue in the background, kind of, like where 2 people talk and understand that you're going on dates with both of them. I'm really curious about that. It also appears to track how many gifts you've given them. I don't know if this is like a daily limit or an overall limit, but it's like 1 of 2, 2 of 2. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. If you click on any of the characters, I love that it shows you more about them. It kind of shows you your status with them. Like here it's showing you have a crush on Lily or she has a crush on you. It shows their birthday, their relationship status, and then things that they love. There's also a little button here to show more, so I am wondering what that more is. Like, I want to know more. I wonder if it'll show their dislikes, because that's something that we do know about them, and that would be really handy information to have if you're trying to give them a gift or ask them on a date somewhere. Like, you obviously don't want to give them something that they hate, and you don't want to take them somewhere that they don't want to be. So I think that just about covers everything we know so far about the dating mechanics. Now we're going to move on to meeting every single dateable NPC so you can decide who you want to go for first. First up, we have Alice. Now, Alice loves minced jackfruit pies and green smoothies, but she does not like pizza. So I'm wondering if she's a vegan. I think her and I will get along. Now, Alice is actually twin sisters with Suki, and the two of them are cousins with Pablo and Rafael, who are brothers. So be wary of all the family dynamics, especially if you're planning on dating more than one of these individuals. Alice and Suki actually own, run, and live in the Coral Island Inn together, and Alice is also good friends with Noah. She's often spotted grabbing coffee with him or having deep conversations about unexplainable phenomena, which sounds like my kind of girl. Like, honestly, let's talk about aliens. Let's talk about the universe. Any of that, I'm so down. If she's so close with Noah, I wonder if there'll be any jealousy involved in you trying to date her, or if it's honestly just a platonic relationship and everything will be smooth sailing. I don't know how the developers are gonna program that kind of thing, but I think she's so cute and she kind of reminds me of me, so I feel like I would definitely be friends with her on Coral Island. Next up is Suki, and just like her sister Alice, she likes green smoothies but does not like pizza. So I know so many of you love pizza. You're not going to be able to go on pizza dates with these two sisters. It's just not going to happen. She also does not like pineapple upside down cake. Suki is recently divorced and has one daughter named Valentina. She's currently very focused on self-development, according to her nightstand read called Finding Love from Within. She spends most of her time working, exercising, and establishing a healthy co-parenting relationship with her ex. I'm assuming that Suki was previously married to one of Rafael and Pablo's cousins, as it states that she is no longer a Sanchez, and that is their last name. And a fun fact is that she's depicted with stretch marks, which is so awesome to see a real body in this game. And on the topic of this family, next up is Pablo. He loves sweet potato poutine, but dislikes durian and the beach. I love the beach, so I'm not so sure about this, to be honest. He's also a blacksmith, and this is where he lives on Coral Island. He's often found lending a helping hand to people around town, cleaning up the graveyard, and hanging out at the tavern. He's always smiling, he's a romantic at heart, and according to his brother, he is ready to settle down when he meets the right person. So maybe that could be you. Next on the list is Pablo's brother Rafael. He loves onyx, horror movies, weaponry, and silence. Very interesting combination. He dislikes fresh salad and loud music, so a date at the tavern might not be the best choice. He spends most of his time at his blacksmith shop that he shares with his brother and is rarely seen around town. But if you are looking to run into him and strike up a conversation, you might be able to find him at Socket Electronics or at the Coral Inn visiting his cousins Suki and Alice and his niece Valentina. Next up is Lily. Lily loves miniature bonsais, kimchi, onigiri, omurice, cheese, wine, and sunflower. Oh my goodness, this girl loves everything. She dislikes diamonds though, so if you're planning to propose, you better come up with a more original engagement ring solution. She's currently living in town with her dad, who's a retired fisherman, and her brother Theo. She has a well-paid job working remote, which allows her to live on Coral Island. However, on the weekends, she enjoys visiting the lake or the library. She's good friends with Nina and watches her villa while she's away. A fun fact is that her signature sweater has text on it that reads bonsai hacker. I have no earthly idea what that means, but I'm definitely curious. Next up is Lily's brother Theo, so this is the final pair of dateable siblings. Theo likes yellow moray eel and fish tacos, but he dislikes beer and wine. He does not drink. He works as a fisherman and performs live at the tavern on weekends. Interestingly, he doesn't actually have a decent voice, but he has a lot of soul in his performance, and he says that's what matters most. So him and KK Slider actually have a lot more in common than I thought, because my boy KK, he does not have a decent voice, but he's got soul. Theo loves outdoor cookouts, festivals, and camping, but he hates traveling, and I just don't know if I can get on board with that. Next up is my girl Nina. I am obsessed with Nina. I don't know why. She likes banana fritters, oddly does not like bananas. She loves flowers, but hates tomato soup. She technically no longer lives in Coral Island, but she visits her vacation home. It's a mystery as to why she left Coral Island in the first place, and I'm so intrigued. I'm hoping once we get to know her, she'll share this part of her past with us. Nina is described as well-educated and enjoys lavish vacations. She's close friends with Suki and also friends with Alice and Lily. I wonder if she would consider moving back to Coral Island full-time if you began a relationship with her, or if she would insist on long distance. Next up is family man Noah, who was born and raised on Coral Island. He only briefly went away for university. He now runs the tavern with his brother Frank. Erica is his sister-in-law, and Betty is his mom. Noah likes durian, sunny side up, I'm assuming we're talking about eggs here, and gnocchi, which I can never pronounce, but absolutely love to eat. He dislikes metal bars. I don't know if we're talking about metal from the earth or like jail bars. I don't know what this means. It's such a bizarre thing to dislike. When Noah's not working, he loves taking care of his mom, he loves long walks, and he enjoys watching a gourmet gelato making show called Game of Cones. Next up is this lovely lady here. I do not know if her name is Eva or Ava. I've heard it pronounced both ways, but she's super cute. She's employed as a baker at Sam's General Store, and she lives at the Coral Island Inn. Her personality is described as happy-go-lucky. She's a positive ray of sunshine and enjoys talking with everyone. Some nice gift ideas for her are red velvet cake, cookies, and orchids, but you're gonna have to cut back on the garlic if you plan to date her because she is not a fan. She actually sews most of her clothes herself, which I think is so sweet, and she really dreams of visiting more exotic places when she has more savings. Next up is free-spirited nomad Ben. Ben lives in a caravan in the forest. If you knock on his window on the weekends, he might actually have random things to sell you. He really loves green tea and actually spends most of his money on green tea, as well as attending fall music festivals. He also loves all mushrooms, and by all mushrooms, I'm assuming they're meaning all mushrooms, if you catch my drift. He dislikes clam chowder, which is totally fair. One of my favorite things about Ben is that he has an extensive collection of healing crystals, and he loves daydreaming. Personally, as a Pisces with a huge crystal collection, I am 100% on board with this. Next up is Princess Leah. Now this girl confuses me, and I will tell you why in just a moment. Her likes are pearls, and her dislikes are mushrooms, eggs, and any type of fish. So I would say fishing dates, off the table. Dinner dates at the Fish and Sip, potentially off the table. I would highly recommend going diving for some pearls that you could give her as a gift and sweep her off her feet. She lives with her father, Randy, and her stepmom, Ling. When she was a kid, her mom was always traveling the world as an art dealer, so when her parents divorced, it was decided that she would just settle with her dad for sake of stability. She is a self-employed yoga instructor at the community center, which is amazing. I love me some yoga. But she also takes her online presence very seriously. She always has her camera on hand, but she loves to be surrounded by nature. However, she also likes to be surrounded by fine arts and a closet full of designer collections. So it's just an interesting contrast in values, so that's why she confuses me, but I'm very curious to learn more about her personality. Next on the list of dateables is Dr. Charles. Charles likes burritos, dislikes flowers. He's actually allergic to pollen. He's the town doctor, he lives with his housemate Scott, and he uses his free time to catch up with islanders at the tavern. He apparently spits out medical advice at everyone, and bad luck seems to have its way with him. He was apparently disowned by his parents, which sounds extremely harsh. He also found the love of his life cheating on him right before their wedding. He's been heartbroken since, yada yada yada. If you want to mend his heart and you want free medical advice, Charles might be your guy. Speaking of his housemate Scott, we're gonna meet him next. Scott likes egg custard, strong coffee, rainy days, and vintage jazz. I feel like that's a whole vibe right there. He, for some reason, doesn't like tulips. He's an archaeologist, which is such an obscure career and super awesome and interesting. He's always up for fun, but he's had many heartbreaks. He initially moved to Coral Island to escape the reputation of being a playboy, but he is really ready for love at this point. He does frequent the local tavern on the weekends, so if you're looking to track him down, maybe check that out. Next on the list is Miss Macy. Macy loves pizza, so if you want to go on those pizza dates that you could not go on with Alice and Suki, Macy might be your girl. She does not like pickles. Previously, Macy had a corporate job in finance, which is actually what she went to school for. However, she left that job to pursue photography full-time. She grew up on a neighboring island, but now lives full-time at the Coral Island Inn. She plans to actually move on to another island unless she's given a good reason not to. Maybe like finding love or something like that. I don't know, just an idea. She's an only child who loves simple nights spent playing video games and hanging out with Steven, who is actually her rescued pet lobster. I have to be honest, I have never met a person who has rescued a lobster and kept it as a pet, so I am intrigued to learn more. Next up we have Millie, who right off the riff gave me librarian vibes, and I'm not wrong because she works at the Coral Island Library. She also likes to spend her free time bird watching, which is cool. I've never been bird watching before. I don't know much about birds, so maybe she can teach me. She also likes likes to help the mayor with arranging festivals and donations and things like that. She owns a house in Garden Lane and actually rents a room to Yuri. Her likes include veggie ramen and old book restorations. Classic librarian. She dislikes fish, so it seems there's actually a lot of people on this island who don't like fish, which is interesting because I feel like you're on an island. There's just gonna be fish, you know? But maybe there's a lot of islanders who are vegan or vegetarian, so that would make sense. Speaking of Yuri, we are going to meet her next. Now, she actually does like fish. She likes fish sandwiches, she likes green curry, she likes lobster, and she loves playing pool. She also does not like flowers, so do not bring her flowers. She is employed as a doctor. She enjoys playing chess and hanging out at the beach shack. Yuri actually spent her 20s as a traveling doctor in very remote areas, so she doesn't have any savings. She's close with Millie, and she's also close with fellow doctor Charles. Next on the list is Kenny. Kenny likes vegan tacos, having lunch outdoors, and drinking kombucha. He also dislikes cheese, so I'm thinking he is vegan. He lives with his parents, Kira and Jack, at a cabin in the forest, and he is employed as a part-time rancher, so he spends most of his time taking care of animals. He's grown up on Coral Island and has very close relationships with the other islanders, as well as the wildlife on the island, and even with spirits from the beyond. After work, he goes to the tavern or to the blacksmith shop to catch up with his friends. He usually spends his lunch breaks in the forest or by the lake, just sitting on the ground, snacking on edamame, and playing the flute. I would like to join you, Kenny. May I join you, please? Luke is up next. Luke likes ratatouille and wine, but he is not a fan of beach scavengables. I don't know if that's because he finds them gross or if he's upset that there's trash on the beach and lost items. He lives with his parents, Bree and Walter, as well as their family dog named Taco. If you were to date him and you have your pet, I wonder if the pet will get to interact with Taco. I'm really curious about that. Luke's family seems to be very rich. They live in a manor behind a vineyard that they own, and Luke feels pressured to take over that business, but he doesn't really want to, so he's opened his own business, which is Socket Electronics. If you're looking to track him down to get to know him better, he does frequent the beach shack for fresh seafood. He's also good friends with Ben and Pablo, so you could hit one of them up if you want some insider info. Next up is Zara. She is an adventurer at heart. She actually lives on a boat, and she enjoys hunting for treasure around the island. Zara loves rambutan and azurite, but she dislikes roasted chestnuts. When her boat isn't docked at its usual place, she's presumed to be visiting her family. However, she's very mysterious, and nobody really knows what's going on in her life. Now, I do have some sad news. If you are wanting to romance her and you are a cat lover, think again. She's allergic. So you're either gonna have to sacrifice that kitty as a starter pet, or you're gonna have to sacrifice your love for Zara. But again, we have 99 save files, guys, so you can totally do a playthrough with a different pet. You can pick a dog, you can pick a fox, you can pick a monkey. Pick a monkey and date Zara. That is honestly such a vibe. Now, last but certainly not least is Surya. Surya likes lodeh, which is an Indonesian vegetable soup prepared with coconut milk, and he does not like regular milk. And I'm 100% with you on this one, Surya. I hate milk. I'm so grossed out by it. Surya lives with his uncle Joko, his aunt Dinda, and his cousin Archie. He's a fresh marine biologist graduate who is doing his fellowship on Coral Island, working on Ling's research project at the lab during the week. He's also brand new to the island, just like you. I sense a little bonding opportunity here. If you're looking to track him down, he spends his free time hanging out with Luke at Luke's family's vineyard and also relaxing at the beach. There you have it, friends. Those are all of the confirmed dateable NPCs thus far. Now, please keep in mind that anything I've said in this video is subject to change. The game is still in development, but I think this information is really useful to kind of get a taste of what the characters will be like, and if you want to plan your routines in the day and figure out where they'll be, the people you want to romance, you can track them down in a very non-creepy way, and you can also be prepared with their likes and dislikes so you know sort of what to avoid and what gifts they would be very receptive to. I am so excited to learn more about these characters and to learn more about the dating mechanics. Any new information that comes to light, I of course do plan to cover that on this channel, so if that's something you're interested in, I would super appreciate if you would subscribe. That way you know when I do post a new video. Please leave a comment below with which of the NPCs you are most excited to get to know and potentially romance. I'm having a really hard time deciding between all of them, so let me know who your favorites are. Seriously, thank you guys so much for watching and for supporting my channel. I really look forward to chatting with you in my next video, and until then, take care.